I'm going to show you a recipe using hake, which is a round fish, and I'm going to serve it with some smoked salmon orzo. So I want to talk to you about the orzo because this is what it looks like raw. You could think it's like rice, but it's not. It's actually a pasta, and it's really delicious, and we use it a lot in the restaurant with roasted vegetables, sun-dried tomatoes, red pepper, that kind of thing, and also we put crab into it. But what I'm going to do, or what I have done first of all, is boiled it just like pasta with some salt and water. That's what we've done here. I put a teaspoonful of turmeric. So that's the turmeric there, and I'm just going to show you the colour. It's so vibrant and organic. So Hake are the name of the company who produced this. All the spices, the dried spices and herbs for Simply Better. Really, really good. And they're all organic. I think they're just brilliant. So this is more or less cooked, and I have it on for about maybe 6-7 minutes. So you cook it until it's al dente. What that means, everyone, is that it's firm to the bite. So I just want to show you what it looks like. So just get a whisk because it does catch. So it kind of plumps up a little bit, but look at the beautiful colour. Now, you can eat this straight away, but I'm not going to. Not yet. We're going to strain it. And then we're going to rinse cold water. And the reason why we do that, it stops it from sticking together. Actually, this pasta like this is delicious with goat's cheese, feta cheese, sun-dried tomatoes. Really is excellent. Now, I am going to cream this up. So what I'm doing, everyone, I'm just removing the starch from it. So that's why you refresh pasta if you want to keep it. And I'm going to let that just sit over the saucepan. So just for a moment. And then we're going to put in some cream. So we're going to put in some lovely smoked salmon and roasted red pepper. It's really simple. It's a recipe that we do in the cookery school, or that we make. I get the students to make it. So it's kind of 2 recipes in one. We're going to pan fry some fish. I'm going to talk to you about fish. We're an island. I've had the pleasure of going all around the country, meeting the most wonderful fishermen. And sometimes as a chef, you forget how hard fishermen work. And they really do, as well as our farmers. You know, to produce food, whether it's fish or meat or dairy, whatever, you know, they're relying on the weather conditions. So it's an extremely tough job being a fisherman. So I'm going to talk to you about 3 different varieties I have here. So first of all, we'll talk about a flatfish. So that could be sole, lemon sole, Dover sole, whatever. That could be plaice, brill, or turbot. So this is the turbot fillet, and there's usually 4 fillets on brill, turbot, that kind of thing. So we've removed the skin, removed the bone, all that. Now I just love that cooked with lemon and butter, and that's it. Beautiful. This is some monkfish. So the turbot is the flatfish. This is a round fish. So this is monkfish. Now this is a meaty texture. So this is delicious, and it used to be years ago served for scampi. And you can actually, the head, now it's not a beautiful looking fish, it wouldn't win a beauty competition, but the cheek of the monkfish is full of flavour and full of meat. But this is the tail. So I've just taken it off the actual bone, removed the membrane, and again you can just pan fry that, or you can wrap that with serrano or parma ham. But what I'm going to cook for you here is some beautiful hake. There's no bones, so it's pin boned. There's actually no bones in any of these, and your fishmonger will do that for you. So you go to O'Connell's, or you go to Gannett's, you know, or Sustainable Seafood. There's lots of lovely places that you can get gorgeous fresh fish. So this is the hake here. It's plentiful. That's really important. So, and it's it's really highly prized in Spain. Before I cook it, because it cooks really, really quickly, I'm cooking it with the skin on because I want to get it nice and crispy. We're going to just go back here. I'm going to drain off any water that come out. And this is what we're looking for here. So it's kind of separated a little bit. We're going to put it back into the pot. And like I'm telling you, even like this, it is delicious, and it will keep. That will keep for 3 or 4 days. I'm going to add in some whipping cream, roughly about 100 mils. I'm going to turn this up here now. Of cream is going to go in here. You don't have to use cream. You can use some creme fraiche. My pan is on. I don't want to get it too hot. I'm going to stir this through, but we're going to get some lovely lemon zest. So I'm going to use my zester. I'm going to place it on top of the saucepan, and then I'm just going to grate this. So watch your fingers. Okay, so the saucepan is kind of taking the pressure, and then with the juice of the lemon, I'm going to actually put it in when I'm cooking the fish. So this is lovely and fresh, and this is the lovely recipe on its own. Now into that, we're going to put in some lovely smoked salmon. So this is the smoked salmon, and it's organic Irish smoked salmon from the Brigida, from the Burren Smokehouse. So it's the same smoked salmon producer that we use, and there's lots of wonderful, producers around Ireland who do their own smoking. So there is, and everyone is different. So I'm just going to dice this. We're going to put this in at the last minute. So we're going to just warm this through. Now you could do this with some lovely crab, some lovely brown Irish crab, which will work really, really well. You could do it with some lobster. You could put in some roasted vegetables, as I say, and then you could also put in the likes of sun-dried tomatoes, feta, goat's cheese, that kind of thing. Chicken, actually for children, chicken would work really well. So dice that, not too small, not too big, but that's going to go in at the last minute. Now I can hear it cracking away. I want to turn it down, because if you don't stir it, it's going to stick to the pot. Turn back on my pan. I'm going to put in some roasted peppers. So this is what we have here. It's kind of just loosening up a little bit, just with the cream. You can use the creme fraiche. You can use mascarpone cheese. I'll just let that cook away. The one thing is about turmeric, if you're wearing a white top, be careful. It just stains, so it does, so just be really careful. Okay, these are some lovely roasted peppers. So I'm just using, this is the jar of roasted peppers, okay, and they are just char grilled, so they are. I think they're absolutely delicious, and I'm using these a lot, so in lots of my recipes. So they're cooked over open grills. We're going to dice this, the yellow and the red, and then we're going to cube it, and then we're going to put this in here. Now this is not essential what I'm doing here, but I definitely think the smoked salmon, you'll enjoy this. So just watch your fingers when you're doing this. And then we'll chop some lovely fresh herbs. I put salt into the water, so you should have no need to put any more salt into it. But you taste it. That's really important. Okay, using your knife, gather it all up and bring it over to the actual saucepan. Now, just going to wash my hands, especially with smoked salmon. And then what we're going to do then, we're just going to start to pan fry our fish. So, lovely. Now, so that's lovely colour. We'll freshen it with some lovely fresh herbs in the last minute. Good hot pan. We're going to use some rapeseed oil, and because this is Irish produced from Derry Carman, County Louth, and you get a higher smoke temperature, so it's a really good oil to cook with, especially fish. So a good non-stick pan. Again, I'm going to put in some butter. You know me and the butter. And I'll just move this out of the way. We're going to dry off our fish. So remember, this is hake. So just dry it off. Why do we dry it off? Just to remove any moisture, and you want to get it nice and crispy. So just using your tongs. I absolutely adore hake, so I do. And in Spain, in the Basque Country in particular, I used to work in a restaurant called Arzac. It is a 3 Michelin star restaurant, and San Sebastian is one of the best places in the world for food, to be honest with you. The pinchos and the tapas and the Michelin stars, but they really, really highly prize hake, so they do. Now I'm going to let that cook there. You can, if you want to, maybe put a little bit of a fish slice. I'll show you a good tip. You could do something like this. Just press that, just to get it nice and crispy. Now I don't want to turn it too soon. The gas is on low, but the pan was hot. So just a couple of tips again. You bring it to room temperature, really important. Okay. A herb that I love cooking with is for fish is thyme. Some lovely fresh thyme. So I'm going to throw this in here. It's going to crack a little bit. Hear that? And it works really, really well. Now, remember that hake is plentiful. It's a beautiful fish, so it is. It's a soft fish. It's not a strong fish. I'm going to put in a couple of cubes of butter. You know me. They're only small cubes. But the rapeseed oil will stop the butter from burning. And that's really important. Okay. So that's on cooking away. See that lovely foam now. That's really, really important. Just turn up the pan a little bit. Oh, I never seasoned the fish, sorry. A little bit of salt. And that's all you need. So that's our orzo cooking away there. Well, it already is cooked. You're just kind of creaming it up. The roasted red pepper. Just while you're there, I'll throw in the smoked salmon. And then we'll put in our lovely fresh herbs. So we will. So the lemon zest is important. You can use lime. I have limes here. You could use that. So what herbs am I going to use? I'm going to use some lovely flat leaf parsley and some fresh basil. You can stir in some pesto. So I'm just going to show you the technique of chopping, everyone. Shake the pan. Turn that down. So curve your fingers. Good sharp knife. I'm using the same knife for the smoked salmon. We don't want it too small. and the herbs go in at the last minute. And another ingredient that I forgot to mention is that you could throw in some baby spinach into this. So again, using your knife in there, perfect, lovely, thank you. And then stir that through, and you can just see how nice and fresh this is. So this on its own, guys, is absolutely beautiful. It is delicious. So I'm going to literally switch that off there. There's no need to heat that up. We're going to have a little look at our fish. So you can see that it's beginning to kind of cook up the sides there. And we want to get the skin really nice and crispy. Flip it over. Beautiful. You see, I love crispy skin of fish. And I'm going to show you what basting means. A little bit of lemon, and then we're going to serve up. It's as easy as that. So basting with a spoon, and the thyme, remember that if you've seen in some of my Instagram videos or pictures, I love thyme with fish. So you're browning that lovely butter, called a beurre noisette. So spoon that over there. Okay, and like hake, this is a particularly nice meaty piece of fish. You could use haddock, you could use pollock. They're all plentiful fish which are good value, full of flavour, and they're all wild and caught off the west coast. All this fish that I showed you, the turbot, the monkfish, all that is all wild, which is delicious. So we love to eat fresh fish if we can every a couple of times a week. And I'm just going to literally just remove the seeds. Turn off the pan, and then just with a little bit of lemon juice just over. It's going to be a little bit noisy. Great. Just put that there. Now, we're ready to serve up. So how do you know when your fish is cooked? Okay, you can get the point of a knife if you want to. I'll just show you. And just when it goes right into the centre, that's cooked. It's going right in there. Perfect. It doesn't take long to cook fish. Try not to overcook it if you can. So as I said, the pasta on its own is delicious, and you're going to see the colour now when I serve this up. If you don't like smoked salmon, you can use crab, sun-dried tomatoes, mix it up a little bit. Wait and you see the turmeric, what it does. Look at how vibrant that is. Like, that's an amazing spice. Turmeric. You could use saffron, but saffron is so expensive. Like that on its own, guys, is so delicious. You don't need to add the roasted pepper. I think it's nice. I like it. We're just going to get our fish. Actually, I'll use the fish slice. Just carefully lifting off the non-stick pan. We're going to arrange 2 pieces. Okay? So that nice crispy skin is exactly what you want. Some people wouldn't eat the skin, but trust me, it'd be the first thing that I'd be eating. And that's it. It's as easy as that. Cooking fish cooks really, really quickly. We're an island. I honestly think we should be eating a lot more fish, you know, as well as our meat. Balance is the key. But just some beautiful fresh hake, which is plentiful. You could use haddock, pollock, and I'm just going to be a little bit chefy here. Just garnish it with some lovely fresh herbs. It's not essential. You can drizzle it with a little bit more oil if you want it, a little bit more lemon. It's totally up to you. Even the fish on its own with some broccoli, some lovely little baby potatoes is gorgeous, or with the pasta on its own. So you've kind of 2 dishes in one, but I think that lovely creamy pasta with the smoked salmon, that lovely basil, parsley, lemon, it's delicious. So try that. So that's the smoked salmon orzo with the pan-fried hake. And get eating more fish, guys. Try this recipe. Hake is plentiful. It's a lovely fish. It's not expensive, and really, really enjoy this. So thank you so much, and happy cooking.